Hello, thank you for joining us on the next session. This is Jeannie, and we are currently on setting your foundation. This session will be about how to know what your prospect is thinking. How to know what they're thinking before they think it. This session will continue to successfully develop your target customer profile. We previously showed you the importance of knowing and understanding your target patient's physical profile. Their profile identifies their physical components such as age, income, and marital status. Here we want to discuss another far more important component in your customer equation, their emotional profile. The emotional components that define your target customer will allow you to thoroughly understand what it is that they want. Previously, we outlined the basic components of the target customer profile. So let me briefly recap why a target customer profile is so important for your marketing and how you will use it to build the business you've always wanted. In our previous presentation, we discussed the first 4 components that will identify and find your target clients. This involves identifying the physical profile of all human beings on the planet who might have a need for what you sell, either now or sometime in the future. This is great information to have since you can use it to locate your target customers when you begin to implement your marketing program. However, the simple truth is the physical makeup of your target persona is responsible for only 10% of the success equation. The reason for this low percentage has to do with the way human beings make decisions. They buy based on their emotions. That means 90% of your business's success will be determined by how accurately you define your target persona's emotional profile. When you know and understand human emotion, you can then predict with much greater accuracy exactly what it is that your target personas want. By developing an emotional profile, we can reveal specifically what it is they want, and then you can innovate your business to give it to them. The emotional profile identifies their hot buttons, which are emotionally compelling problems, frustrations, and concerns that your prospects have when they go to buy what you sell. The physical profile you completed earlier only defines the prospects who have a logical need to use your product or service, whereas the emotional profile defines the prospects who have an emotional reason to buy. In other words, they actually want what you sell. Your prospects are searching for solutions to what's bothering them emotionally. If you provide the solution they want and you offer the most value when compared to your competition, they will buy from you every time. Always remember that everyone wants the best deal. That doesn't mean the lowest price. It means the most value for the price they pay. Your prospects are willing to pay twice the price your competitors charge, provided you offer 4 times the value. Want versus needs. It simply comes down to wants versus needs. When you need something, you are making a logical decision. When you want something, you make any emotional decision. Think about it this way. Would most people love to own a Lamborghini? Realistically, no one on the planet really needs a Lamborghini. But a lot of people want one. Your formula for success is an easy one. Find your target customers who want what you sell. Make sure you have an innovative solution that offers them the most value, and then position your compelling marketing message in front of them, announcing your solution while removing the risk for them to experience it for themselves. It is really just that simple. But here's the problem. If I asked you to describe to me the physical differences between the customers who need what you sell versus those who want what you sell, you would find it all but impossible to do so. That's because physically both groups typically look the same. You previously identified the physical traits for your target customers. The physical profile only describes the physical components of the available universal human beings who need what you sell. If you sell to consumers, demographics identify their gender, age, marital status, employment status, income level, and so on. If you sell to other businesses, demographics identify their annual revenue, part of the country they're located in, their corporate structure, the number of people they employ, the number of years they've been in business, and so on and so forth. These are all physical components. And the problem is that physically, consumers and businesses all look alike when you compare target customers in general. The real difference lies in knowing and understanding their emotional makeup. You want to position your business in front of only those clients or patients who want what you sell, those unique individuals who are emotionally drawn to your offer. Place your marketing message in front of them. Give them a risk-free way to experience what you offer. Make sure your product or service provides them with a solution to their problem. Make sure your solution offers the most value, and you will have a client for life. The key gain is to focus on what they want, and that revolves around their emotional profile. That's what we previously said when it comes to small business success. The physical profile is responsible for 10% of the success equation, and the emotional profile accounts for 90%. Right now, you might be thinking that this sounds like an impossible mission to undertake, but in reality, it's a very simple process. But what's even better is that once you master this process, you will be able to effectively generate all the leads you want and attract as many clients as your business can handle. But like any process, there's a step-by-step approach you need to follow in order to do this properly. That's why you've already completed step 1 when you develop the physical profile for your target client. Develop the emotional profile and answer the questions at the end of this session to record your answers. Now let's begin your process of developing the emotional profile you need. The emotional profile is one of the most critically important steps in the process, since it begins the actual process of separating your business from your competition. In marketing today, all small business or practice owners are trying to be all things to all people, believing that they need to cast the widest net in order to land the most prospects. Nothing can be further from the truth. When you are trying to be everything to everyone, you become nothing to no one. You fail to differentiate yourself from the pack, and you simply blend into the landscape. We previously discussed the fact that there are 3 elements required for any business to be successful. Every business must stand out from the crowd. It must be unique. It must offer exceptional value, and it must be able to communicate weakness and value. If you offer the same thing as all of your competition, then you're not unique, and you're certainly not offering your prospects extraordinary value. With none of these components in place, you have nothing to communicate to your prospects that you will be emotionally compelling to them. You simply look like your competition, and you're doomed to forever compete on price. When you target a specific customer profile, you break away from attempting to be all things to all people. When you do that, you make your business unique. It stands out from the crowd. But as we continue to help you build on this process, we will also help you acquire the ability to create exceptional value. Then it's a simple process to create compelling marketing and advertising that clearly communicates all of this to your target prospects. So let's quickly go through the childcare case study. Some of our previous examples we used to define the physical profile of your target customer. Let's begin with the emotional side of the childcare example. So demographically, the ideal childcare client is either male or female, 21 to 45 years old, single or married, 2.3 kids between the ages of 3 months up to 5 years old, employed outside of the home, and has an annual income somewhere between $20,000 and $150,000 per year. So essentially all human beings on the planet with kids under 6 that work and don't have friends or relatives that can watch them during the day. The services may require the services of a child care facility. That's their physical makeup. but that isn't what they want. What is their emotional profile? What problems, frustrations, fears, or concerns are they experiencing as they contemplate placing their child in the custody of strangers? What would you be experiencing emotionally if you were in their shoes? By the way, don't take this exercise lightly. This is the critical skill to develop and will have a major impact on your business's bottom line. So I encourage you to play full out and give this your all. Learn how to think like your prospects think. You must learn how to tap into their mindset and feel what they're experiencing on an emotional level. You must know and understand what their hot button issues are, what their problems, fears, anxieties, frustrations, and concerns they face as they try to decide whether or not they will buy what you sell, as well as they buy from you or your competition. Okay, so look at the physical profile process we asked you to follow. We asked you to consider these 3 different types of clients. We requested that you begin your youngest possible client, then a client that fell in the middle age range bracket, and finally a client that is in the upper age bracket. The reason for this segmentation is simple. These different segments will typically want different things from your business, from the childcare business in this example. They definitely want different things. So let me explain. Let's say you're a parent, 21 years old, and you and your spouse just had your first child, who is now 3 months old. You both work all day, and you have no one you can really rely on to watch your child. You both are young and have just entered the workforce. You both find yourselves in entry-level jobs making entry-level wages. In fact, your combined annual income is likely very low. So what do these kids want from a childcare facility? What's going through their minds as they contemplate leaving their precious newborn with complete strangers for 8 hours each day? What are they feeling emotionally? What fears, frustrations, or concerns are racing through their minds? And what would you be feeling and thinking if you were in their position? Are you beginning to see why this is one of the single most important skills you can acquire as a small business owner? If you can train yourself to think and feel the way your target prospects think and feel, and then innovate your business so that you give them what they want in order to overcome their fears and concerns, they will instantly buy what you sell and keep coming back for more. You have an entire universe of prospects that need your product or service. But within that vast universe, you have different segments that want different things. You must identify every single one of those wants and then select the one that you have a passion for serving. Then find your niche in that one area that is often referred to as a niche market. If you will perform this exercise to the best of your ability, you will quickly be able to identify all the available niche markets for your target customers and then select the ones that are right for you and your business. But first, we need to identify all of those various wants that exist within your available universe of prospective buyers. So consider, if you were a young parent with a newborn baby and the only option you had was to leave your child with a childcare facility, what would you want from that facility? Now remember, as a young parent, you probably don't make much money. Based on that fact alone, most young parents want a childcare facility that's extremely affordable. Basically, a glorified babysitting service. The cost of the childcare would typically be their main consideration. That will tend to be their major high button. But what if you were older? Let's say you were a 30-year-old parent with a child in the age range of 3 months to 3 years. You have just received a major promotion in your company, and your new position comes with a hefty raise. For the first time in your life, you now have some discretionary income. The first thought for most parents now turns to making a better life for their child. So think for a moment. What would you want from the child care facility where you leave your precious child 9 hours every workday? Well, since the child is 3 years old or younger, most parents of young kids want specialized daycare. They want the staff at the facility to show their child extra love, care, and attention. They want each staff member to treat their child as if they were their very own. They would also be paying more attention to be willing to pay more to acquire that type of childcare. After all, if you were in this same position, wouldn't you want these things for your young child? The younger kids could never afford this type of upscale childcare. So affordability would typically be their main consideration. But for the 30-year-old parent who now finds themselves in a much more fluid situation, finding childcare that specializes in providing close supervision along with a loving, caring, and nurturing environment becomes their number one hot button. But what if you're in your 40s and made an executive level income? What if you were a 40-year-old business owner or executive making a comfortable 6-figure salary and your child was 3 to 5 years old? Would you want something different from childcare than our previous 2 examples? Again, put yourself in their shoes. Their child is older and school is rapidly approaching. Most parents begin to think in terms of education. They would love to see their child receive some form of preliminary education that may give their child a head start on preschool. If you were in this situation, would you prefer a child care facility that offered beginner reading skills, beginner math skills, or possibly basic computer skills as options for parents to enroll their child into? If you agree an educating young mind stirs a passion in your soul, this would be your big opportunity to innovate your daycare and begin to offer parents this unbelievable one-of-a-kind option. Your child care facility could even offer a written guarantee that all children in this program will be reading at a first grade level before they enter kindergarten. Think parents in this specific situation just might be interested in a child care facility like this for their older kids. But here's the whole point behind this exercise. Child care, when it comes to child care, there's a universe of prospects that need it. But within that vast universe lies a multitude of prospects with situations that they specifically want. And those wants are heavily tied to their feelings and emotions. They are basically divided into these 3 specific and highly defined segments. That's why this next step in our process to identify our target customer involves carefully defining these segments, often referred to as niche market. We must identify the specific segments that define the emotional desires of our prospects. What is it they really want from our product or service? There are 3 distinct and completely different niche markets that define this industry: affordability, a nurturing, loving environment, and educational opportunities. Identifying these upfront over the smart business owner, the smart business owner gives them the smart business owner a major opportunity to create a business that stands out from their competition and can quickly dominate their entire market. This will be the subject for our next session, health coach practitioner case study. So this is the same situation that applies to a health coach or practitioner. We previously identified their target customers' physical profile like this. They focus on people that want a healthier lifestyle. This persona might already have healthy habits and want to take it to the next level, or are unhealthy and need to solve health problems. They may want to develop faster, or they may be stuck at a specific level and are now frustrated by their lack of ability to move off this plateau. Or they may find themselves with major health trouble and fear of being seriously ill. They are anywhere from 35 to 65 years old with a median income of $70,000. Today, that equals billions of people in just the US alone. But emotionally, what do these prospects want from a coach or a practitioner? What are the problems, frustrations, fears, and concerns that are affecting them emotionally? What is it that they want a practitioner to do to solve their hot button issues? Let's take them in order. For the sick, they want solutions fast to keep their health from declining further or needing to take more drastic measures such as drugs, surgery, etc. The healthy prospects just want to never be sick and to take their health and habits to the next level. They want a process put into place that allows them to live day to day with total and complete confidence and certainty. The healthiest people with great habits already in place, they may just want an accountability partner and someone that thinks like they do to talk to. In each and every case, there's a massive available universal prospects that need what the practitioners sell. But within that vast universe, lack specific emotional profiles that divide them into specific niche markets. Hot buttons are key. Unfortunately, the vast majority of small business owners never take the time to go through this profiling process and carefully identify their prospects' hot buttons and how they can benefit their business by innovating around those hot buttons. So they become the only business that offers these specific prospects exactly what they want. They never consider the best ways to address those hot buttons, let alone how they can communicate to their target customers and prospects that they have innovated their business and now offer the solution they seek. It's every business owner's job to identify and define the most important emotional hot buttons that top their prospect list. They must identify the top things that prospects want from your business that leads them to look to you for a solution to their problems, frustrations, fears, or concerns. The smart small business owner will list all of their target customers' emotional components and then select just the one that resonates the most with their passion. This means selecting your specific niche market and will be the focus of our next session. But please let me stress again why this is so important to the future growth of your business. All of your prospects today want to feel special. They want to feel as though they're working with the expert and that you can help them solve their specific problems, concerns, fears, and frustrations for good. They're tired of the look-alike, sound-alike practitioners that all offer the same exact product or service that for the most part doesn't even come close to giving them what they truly want. A practice that stands out from the crowd, one that's truly unique. They want a practitioner that understands them, gives them what they want, and in the process offers them exceptional and extraordinary value. And if you provide them with such a business, they'll reward you by gladly paying you a higher price for what you sell, as long as the value you now offer justifies the price that they pay. And finally, they want you to communicate with them in a loud, clear, and easily understandable voice. They want your message to clearly communicate to them that you are different and you do offer exceptional value. They're tired of searching for these types of businesses, and they will appreciate your clear, concise message that doesn't play games, but instead highlights the benefits you provide specifically for them. And for the business that provides these three major elements, you will see prospects show up in droves. The business that stands out from all others by becoming unique, offering exceptional and extraordinary value, and clearly communicating those benefits to their prospects will literally dominate their entire niche. If I call 10 personal trainers looking for one to help me add lean muscle mass, and all of them tell me they can help me do whatever I want, lose weight, add muscle, feel better, or have energy, then they're trying to be everything to everyone, and as a result have become nothing to no one. But if you call me and I tell you that I specialize in just one thing, helping over 40 and 10 pounds of helping people lose over 40 pounds and 10 pounds of lean muscle mass within 30 days through a specialized, proven, and tested workout program that only I provide, I've just separated myself from all other trainers. I've made my business unique and simultaneously creative massive value to these people, to these individual prospects that are specifically looking for this type of trainer. And all that's left for me to do is to effectively communicate that message to my target prospects. And believe me, they will come running, and price will not be the determining factor. The secret to small business success. Are you beginning to understand why the emotional profile is 90% of the small business's success equation? The emotional profile identifies what your ideal customers really want when they go to buy your product or service. They want a unique way that's loaded with value, and you've just made your business the no-brainer choice. This is how we help small business owners all over the world. This is also the process we use to help building a successful practice. It's not rocket science. Anyone with the focus and motivation to do so is able. The process we're teaching you is a step-by-step, almost paint-by-numbers approach. It all starts with developing your target profile. Your job is to first identify the physical profile for your target customer, and then identify their emotional profile so you thoroughly understand their hot button issues. Some prospects may only have one hot button, others may have 10. If you're passionate about serving the prospect with the one hot button, that automatically becomes your niche market. If there are multiple hot buttons, then your job is to select the one that you have the true passion for serving and make that one hot button your niche market. That will work on this during our next session. But for now, stay focused on identifying your prospects' emotional hot buttons. I want you to go back and review your physical profile and then create a list where you ask yourself, when it comes down to my product or service, what could the prospects in my physical profile possibly want that could compel them to buy what I sell? What are the possible problems, frustrations, fears, or concerns that actually exist for my product or service? Using the examples in your study guide, transfer both physical and emotional profiles into the worksheet. Now, since this training has been written, we have implemented a completely interactive online system. So you don't actually need to write everything out separately. We do that automatically. You just answer the questions at the end of each segment of each session, and that will actually send the answers to me for me to review for you, if you wish. Otherwise, of course, you're free to go ahead and write them down personally on paper or in your own computer. You do not need to answer the questions to move forward, only if you want me to review them to make sure that you're on the right track. So list the physical traits in the box at the top and the emotional traits in the box on the right. Again, I'm going to be redoing this training, this session, to reflect the interactive portion of this. But basically what you're going to do is I will ask you for the physical traits, and you will type those in. And then the emotional traits, you will type those in. And then we have examples listed here in this session. However, if you need additional examples, go ahead and mark that in your either in your questions or shoot me a separate email, and I will be more than happy to give you more examples. If you struggle with this exercise and have a hard time coming up with the hot buttons for your target persona or the target persona in of themselves, then try talking to them. Approach your current patients or prospects. If you have no current patients that you personally feel fit your description of the perfect target customer, then ask them to tell you their biggest problem, frustration, fear, or concern they have when they buy what you sell. Even if you believe you do not know what their hot buttons are, consider verifying them with your target prospects. You may discover you are 180 degrees off, or that you had their hot buttons listed in the wrong order of priority. Most practice owners list low price as the typical prospect's number one hot button, only to discover that price was never one of their concerns. It's the first question they ask, but least of their concerns when it comes to buy. When you buy a car or house, you start shopping on price, but you want 100% buy on value in the end. Otherwise, we'd all be driving around in clunkers and living in huts. Next, we're going to help you select your niche market. This is where you begin to separate your business from your competition. This is where you establish your unique position in the marketplace. Recapping what we've covered, let's quickly recap what we've covered here. Our main purpose was to get you started with developing a solid foundation that you can now begin to use as you build your highly successful practice. That foundation demands that you identify and understand who it is that represents your target customer. We highlighted the two major factors that will help you to identify your target customer: their physical profile and their emotional profile. Their physical profile makes up of only 10% of the business success equation sets that identifies the available universe of prospects who need what you sell. The emotional profile makes up the remaining 90% of the success equation by identifying who wants what you sell. These emotional traits are also known as hot buttons. The reason the emotional profile makes up such a large percentage of the success equation has to do with the fact that human beings buy based on emotion. They only use logic to justify their purchase. Once you identify and understand their emotional profile, you will know how to compel them to buy from you by appealing to their emotions. When you hit your prospects' hot buttons, they will instantly pay attention to your message. They will be compelled to buy what you sell because you have selected that specific niche market to serve. And in the process, innovate your business so you are the only one who can solve their major problem, concern, fear, or frustration. They have to feel like you're talking directly to them specifically. Creating your very own emotional profile is the key step when you begin to implement your marketing program. A marketing program that will consistently generate excellent results by conveying compelling information that reaches your prospects emotionally. So take your time and complete the physical and emotional profile assignments. Use the example businesses in this session and then record both sets. Have your information recorded into your worksheet digitally here in this online module. In the next presentation or session, now that you know both the physical and emotional components that define your target customer. So in our next session, we'll help you narrow the field by selecting your preferred niche market that you wish to serve. By choosing a specific niche to target, you will begin to attract most prospects within that niche and become the dominant force within that market. This will enable you to take your business to an entirely new level, both professionally and financially. Please remember that our overall focus is to help you continue to build the business you've always dreamed of having, a business that provides you with the financial freedom and an extraordinary life for you and your family. Each presentation brings us closer to accomplishing that goal. See you in the next session.